This conference will now be recorded.
Hey everybody, Tammy here with another Rebel Agent Dispatch, and what you're looking at is something you may have gotten in your email. It's called Trifecta Marketing. And if you were already on Retire Village, you probably got one of these, and maybe if you weren't on Retire Village. And I want to answer some questions. I sort of started this a few days ago when I looked. I knew this was coming, so I did an overview of the website of the Retire Village website. And I told you what my thoughts were. I gave you my honest appraisal, my review. And I want to do that again today and a little more in depth, because here's the thing. I do not, nor have I ever considered myself to be a competitor with anyone on annuity.com or Retire Village, or even with Anthony Owen and the bunch over at Aegis. Okay, I'm not in competition. I'm not an FMO, IMO, PPO, OPX, whatever you want to call yourself, whatever set of letters you use. I'm not competing with you. Even in the marketing sphere, what I do is unique and customized to my handful of advisors that I invite onto the Safe Money Trends site. I'm not trying to corner the market here. I'm not trying to clear cut the forest, nor am I trying to get 1,000 people on my website. But I do hate the fact that a lot of marketing organizations take advantage of advisors. They take advantage either of your sloth. Sometimes you guys are slothful. You just don't want to do the work. You don't want to do the research. That's understandable, but they take advantage of that. And they take advantage of the fact that you're very good at what you do. Very good at what you do, and you don't want to be bothered with doing some of the marketing, the tedious stuff. You want to just sit down in front of the client and close the deal. Got it. Okay. So they do take advantage of those tendencies that advisors have, right? So here's Trifecta Marketing. First of all, it's the same old stuff, just repackaged in a bright new shiny container. So we have a little more professional looking PDF that they sent out outlining, and I mean outlining in the broadest sense. They don't tell you anything. They give you no details about how this is supposed to work. They just tell you it's the all new, bright and shiny Trifecta Marketing Retire Village powered by annuity.com. So I'm going to go through this PDF really quickly, or maybe not quickly, and you know what I think. Again, this is my own opinion. However, I will say this opinion is based on my insider experience doing working as a contractor with these people, and also my experience, almost 20 years of doing marketing and financial services, and my experience as a former agent. Okay, so I'm going to put all that stuff to work for you today and try to give you an honest review. I will tell you, I was approached by Retire Village to market for them, and I turned them down. And today I'm going to tell you why exactly I turned them down, and why I will never promote their stuff, because unless a miracle happens and they fix all of this, which I don't think is going to happen. Okay, so first of all, we see our good old tried and true silver fox of annuities, bill-broich, right up there. And I'm going to go through this line by line and tell you what I think is right about it and what's wrong about it. Okay, I'm going to be as fair as possible. I am not trying to get even with them, even though they were exceptionally rude to me and did some very nefarious and slightly shady things. That is not my purpose here. My purpose is to inform you. If you want to try this system, I won't judge you for it. I just want you to know what you may be getting into. Now, if you already have Retire Village and you're paying $99 a month for it, hey, you might as well go ahead and keep on doing that, because they're making some promises here. And within 6 months, you'll be able to see if you got any additional benefits. However, if you find that you're getting nickeled and dimed to death and being asked to, pay extra for this and extra for that, you may want to get out of it. Also, be very, very, very careful not to sign any contract unless you've thoroughly read it. Don't sign contracts for this, because you could find yourself obligated in ways you never imagined to do things that you don't want to do. So start off. Definition of a lead. A lead is an invitation to a relationship. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct there. A lead is not, nor was it ever supposed to be, a guaranteed sale. People are not going to walk through your door with a check in their hand and say, I want to do business with you and take my money. That's not a lead. That is a miracle. That's not a lead. So a lead is simply somebody that raised their hand and said, you know, I'm kind of, sort of, a little bit interested in what Joe Smith has to say. I'm raising my hand tentatively, and I'm raising my hand to say that I might want to talk to you. I might want to start a conversation. Okay, that's a lead. A lead does not mean a sale. Absolutely. I agree with this. So far, so good. Advisors who depend on buying leads and think they're in the same business I am are losing opportunities daily. I'm not sure exactly what that means. I don't know whether he's saying if you buy leads and that's all you do, you're not really an annuity or annuity professional, and there's some truth to that. If all you're doing is taking the heroin of leads and you become dependent on that, then you might not truly be a marketer of annuities, right? But the next one is what gets me. The next couple of bullet points are kind of ironic. Almost 90% of the money spent on leads is wasted. I would go further than that. I'd say about 97% of the money that most advisors I've known who have spent it on leads, they've wasted it, right? It's 97% gone forever. You're not getting leads. If you shoot enough bullets into a tank full of fish, you're bound to hit one. That does not constitute a real lead system, in my opinion. Okay, so buying leads means you're dependent on others for your success. That's right. That's the heroine of the business, the leads. And finally, 92% of anyone you approach, which is kind of clunky sentence there, should be 92% of people or seniors or retirees you approach will check your internet credentials before ever considering meeting with you, while those in your database have already accepted you as a professional. Yes, what he's saying here in a roundabout way and trying to make it sound like some mysterious, shiny alchemy there, it's the internet credentials. Internet credentials means just basically someone's Googling you before they go to a meeting. Everyone does this. You do it. I know you do. I do it. If you're not doing it to your leads, you're missing out on opportunities. So Googling somebody, finding out what you find out about them, that's their internet reputation. If you have a very common name, you could have problems, right? Because if your name is Joe Smith could be somebody that got arrested for scamming people. Joe Smith could be somebody that got in a brawl outside a bar. You don't know. And that's what your internet reputation is, your credentials. So what do people find when they Google you? That is very important. I will agree with them here. That's a critical component of search, right? It's not enough just to get your name to come up. Your name better not be mud when it comes up, right? So those in your database have already accepted you as a professional. Now, this is your first hint that what we're talking about with this trifecta is database marketing, which essentially means that you are providing your list, whether it's coming from your seminars, your online digital presentations, whatever, not a purchase list. Oh, don't go that route. But they're talking about your warm contact list, right? And database marketing, as I've been saying for years, is really the way to go. Nobody wants to do that. There's a lot of psychological barriers because you don't want to be seen as being needy. You don't want to bother, quote unquote, bother your clients and bother your prospects. So you'd rather go out and talk to total strangers. That makes no sense to me. But I guess if you have a certain kind of mindset and you don't want to be that person that seems needy, that's probably why most advisors don't do deep database marketing. So database marketing is important on this, but are they really doing anything for you that you can't already do yourself? Let's look. How would you like to have a marketing system that generates leads created by you and your efforts? Now, think about this headline for a minute. Why would you pay someone to create a marketing system that generates leads created by you through your own efforts, right? In other words, most of the time when we buy a system, we are hoping that we are getting the fruit of other people's efforts, and we are co-opting that. We're leasing that from them, essentially, when we buy their products. We are getting their expertise. We're getting all their mistakes that they've made, so we don't have to make the same ones. We are not generating the leads, they are, right? That's most of the time. But I don't think you would like to have a marketing system that you pay for that generates leads created by you, because you already have that, okay? Sorry, it's getting really dry here. It's about 103 outside right now. A fully automated system that costs virtually nothing. Oh, that's that word, almost free, and takes less than 2 hours a month of your time. It creates more leads than you can work, and a design that never fails. That's a lot of fluff in there, but they're just telling you they're going to create an auto drip system for you, right? And they're going to be using your contacts and your efforts, and you're going to be putting about 2 hours a month into it, so it's no big deal, right? The system has been private for the past 32 years. I don't think so. I clearly remember helping them sell this myself, and to my knowledge, it was never private. But it's not, it's, again, it's this, when you see this, you'll see it's the same system. They've just done some very sketchy tweaking, I think, with some of the coding and that sort of thing. Okay, it provides a permanent way of always having a lead to call. Well, you already have that. If you have a list to upload into the system, dudes, you have some people to call. Why aren't you calling them? Why are you uploading your list and hoping that this system is somehow going to, I mean, all it's doing basically is dripping, and it's a nice drip, but it's just reminding people that you're still there if they ever need you. You know, in case their life changes, which it can in a heartbeat, they will know who to call. That's you, right? That's what a drip is designed to do. It's not a lead generation system, it's a lead nurturing system. The system is simple and will generate almost any number of leads. Oh my gosh, you can just turn the dial and get 500 if you want. You must see, here it is. You agree to one simple concept. Here is the catch, people. You must build your own database. How are they, you know, they say they're going to help you do that, but dubious. You must build your own database, and the database members must at least know your name. You may not use lists, and you must develop. First of all, they tell you that you got to build your own database, but you can't use lists. You must develop your own, and we're here to help you do that. So they don't really specify how they're going to help you build a database. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to do it, but I don't see anything here that really shows you how that's going to happen. But I digress. Okay, my favorite part of the show, my favorite part of the carrot and pony show, or whatever you want to call it, is the same advisors over and over and over again are being used as the star players, right? Now, I don't put much stock in testimonials anyway, unless they're done the way I've been doing them for Sean Sparkman on the Safe Money Trends site, where I actually interview your real clients, and they get to say whatever. If they don't like the fact that you don't call them back, I'm not going to edit it out. I'm just having a conversation with them, and they say the good, the bad, and the ugly about you and working with you. That's a real testimonial that people can get behind, because it's a real person saying, you know what? I love the way he did that, and that. If I was him, I would change this. And that's a real testimonial. These are guys, so you got to know. This is Lyle, Eric, Steve, and Joe. Lyle Boss is a boss. I mean, he is great out in Utah. He owns those airwaves as far as the Safe Money Radio Show is concerned, because he's been doing it for a long time. He's on some very, very good stations. He's on some excellent time slots. And there's just nobody else out there doing it like Lyle, right? But Lyle also spends a ton of money on marketing. So he invests in himself more heavily than I'm betting most of you are willing to do, right? Eric Hutter is another radio show host. He's doing really well in Florida. You know, he spends a lot of money on his marketing as well. Steve Kirby, Joe Edgeworth, and these are the same guys you'll see again and again and again, right? They're successful, but they're not successful because of this stupid retirevillage program. They're successful because they're the kind of people who are going to be successful no matter what. You could probably give Lyle Boss a yellow pad and a pencil, send him into a room full of people, and he'd have business by the end of the day. That's just how he is. So most of these guys are doing well because they're just that way, right? I hate to tell you, there's no magic formula. You can improve what you're doing, though, and you can get better results, right? The system's called retirevillage and was built by me, bill-broich, in Olympia, Washington. No, not really. I mean, he probably thought of this or he conceived of it, but a lot of other talented people got behind this and made this thing happen. And then they proceeded to dismantle it and make it bad. So yeah. It was the first advisor in America to sell 100 million in fixed annuity premiums in 1998. That's great. Years ago. You know, you can't rest on your laurels forever. And you got to ask yourself, if that's the case, if you sold that many premiums, why are you even telling your secrets to anybody? Or what is it you're trying to accomplish here? But I digress. If you do these things, it will work, he says. If you accept the system as it is and don't try and change it. In other words, there is no room for customization here, boys and girls. You must accept the cookie cutter. You must be part of the Borg. You must comply or you won't get results. And then if you don't get results and you've deviated even one scintilla, what's going to happen is we're going to blame it on you. Okay, your focus is on building your database. Yeah, that should always be your focus. Isn't that what leads are? Part of your database? Yeah. You follow up on your monthly leads? Again, you should. You guys do not do a great job of follow-up, and that's where you're losing out on money because you already paid to have those seminars. And if you sell 10 units and there were 50 people there, what are you doing with the other 40? I mean, you paid for those leads and you should be nurturing them. So I agree, you must follow up. You follow my path to success. Oh, please get off that path. That's not necessarily the one you want to follow, okay? And you will have more warm leads than you can work. Yeah, because they're going to be your own people from your own database. Okay. Just got off the phone recently with somebody who was a radio show host and told me he spent $40,000 and got zero out of it. Zero. Virtually no leads, and the leads he did get, he couldn't follow up on, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so to me, that's not good lead generation. So expect result. What's wrong with that? Before I show you the system, answer this question, and this is a funny one. Hang on, let me get that back up there. Why would anyone buy leads at a horrendous expense, $300 to $400 per lead, then call the lead, which is a cold lead, by the way, and think this is marketing? Well, duh, Bill, that's a great question. Why would you try, you and Anthony and your minions at Aegis, why would you be pushing advisors to do that very thing with Financial Eyes? And you did. And the other kinds of leads they were sending, was it advisors? I can't remember what it was called, but there were some leads that started off really, really good. And then as they stopped spending money on the lead generation, they got worse, which that usually happens because it takes a lot to keep up that momentum and it costs a lot of money to generate leads. You've heard me say this. You know, a decent lead costs well over $200 to generate. So yeah, you're going to be paying $300 or $400, but they should be good leads. The data should all be good, and they should at least be in your desired demographic, right? At the very least. So yeah, why would you spend that kind of money on leads that are just hit and miss? I mean, like I said, you could take a submachine gun and fire it into a pool full of fish and you'd hit a bunch of them, but do you want to do that every time? So waste of your time and money and your talent, I think, because some of you are very, very talented at what you do. You don't need to be chasing after people that are never going to pick up the phone. So he proceeds to dismiss everything he's been doing for the last few years and say, with retirevillage, you can generate your leads for next to nothing, except a little effort. You do have to make an effort, dadgummit. Otherwise, it would be perfect for the lazy agents, right? Leads that are not cold, but they're warm. Leads that know who you are and will talk to you. Yes, again, because it's your own freaking database that you're using. We hope they know you. Using retirevillage in its system will eliminate wondering every day who to call. Again, as I pointed out earlier, you could be calling these people on your own. It solves the problem for you. At the same time, it creates and manages your internet reputation. Okay, so meaning when you get on annuity.com and you get on retirevillage and people Google you, that's the first couple of things they will see. And that's all fine and good. As long as but the thing is, think about this. If someone's Googling you it should be going to your own website. Should it be going to annuity.com or retirevillage and building up their web traffic? I don't think so. I think, your own website should be your primary focus first if you're looking for getting your internet presence up there. So it should be LinkedIn. That's very important. Having a very good profile on LinkedIn, effective profile. Number two, your own website, right? YouTube is really huge in that equation. Maybe even podcasts. I'm finding that like Apple Podcast, Blog Talk, and things like that, they have very high search engine ranking. So there's many more things you could do on your own that would get you this particular result. Now, using Retire Village in the system will eliminate wondering every day, blah, blah. Now, this is a quote from a movie. I don't get this, okay? So call me obtuse if you want to, but maybe some of you can explain to me. In the movie Jurassic Park, Dr. Grant asked John Hammond the first time he saw dinosaurs, how did you do this? And John Hammond said, I will show you. So what is the correlation there? Am I missing something? Like I said, I'm probably just thick as a brick, so explain it to me. That just was an unnecessary reference as far as I'm concerned, superfluous. Now we will show you how we do it. This is funny because they don't really show you anything. They just give you the old school funnel. It's done a little differently. It kind of looks like thong underwear down there, doesn't it? Where it says leads. But okay, so here's invited author, growing database, social media, and it goes into the annuity.com little machine there with the magic Keebler elves inside of it. And it comes out, arrow, 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 and it drips into the thong underwear or the thong bikini bottom. And then it goes out and it becomes a dollar sign, maybe even real money involved, or just maybe some of that lousy fiat currency we're dealing with. So Trifecta Marketing, we're going to give you an overview of how the system works. This whole thing has been an overview. Have you seen any specifics yet? No. Okay, so it's the same Retire Village that's all prettied up, and it's going to give you the things that you've already seen before, perhaps even used. Invited authors, whoa, that's cool. In Advisors Retire Village database, that's just part of the Retire Village you already have. And Annuity.com's proprietary social media marketing system. We'll look at that in a second. That's pretty hilarious. Okay, so here we are back to the thong underwear again. Invited authors, growing database, social media. Annuity.com, the arrows, and into the thong it goes. There we go. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. MDRT bound you are. Why this works. Using annuity.com's massive content, 1344 articles, 1,000 of them probably written by me. I repent totally of that. Sorry about that. With 15 to 20 additional every month, our artificial intelligence system will never run out of original content, and there is no repeated or plagiarized content. If you look at the other Rebel agent dispatches I've done, you'll see that's not the case. Matter of fact, the reason I parted ways with them had to do with repeated and plagiarized content that I happened to know it was because I wrote it for another advisor. They paid for it, and then it shows up on another advisor's name. It was crazy. I could not believe they did this, but yes. Now, are they doing it now? What are they talking about, this artificial intelligence system? Artificial intelligence means nothing. It means nothing. AI, empty term. It's like meta. It means nothing. Artificial intelligence is simply what? It's a computer, right? We already have those. But this computer, and you might have seen ads for this stuff, but what this is, if they're actually paying for this, and I doubt it, but what this is supposed to be is a service that generates blog posts for you automatically through artificial intelligence. A computer writes these blog posts on a regular basis, and they use criteria like search engine terms and phrases and things like that. And they come up with, they chew all this stuff up and go spit out a blog post automatically. So you don't have to do any writing. That's the hard part for a lot of people, sitting down, thinking of a topic and writing, right? That's what I do for agents. I've tried this myself actually, because I thought, well, heck, I might as well see if it works so that I can, double my efforts, right? Because it takes a lot of time to actually sit down and write an article and research it and all that sort of stuff. And then I used a couple of these programs and had really meh results. And the reason is, it's sort of like a veggie burger. Even though on the outside of the box it says, tastes just like real meat, smells like real meat. When you get it home and you do the veggie burger, it's similar, but it falls short of the real thing. And sometimes you can't even put your finger on what it is about it that makes it different. But I can tell you that I could show you a couple of pieces of content written by computers and a couple written by real people, and there is just ever so slightly a bit of difference. There's, for one thing, a lot of us who write all the time make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. I make, they're usually not factual mistakes. They're typos and things like that. But these computers can be programmed where they just don't make any mistakes, and it looks almost too sanitary, if that makes any sense. It's not very warm, and it's also not as customizable as you would like it. Basically, it's going to churn out all these general topic content, all the stuff, like what is a 1040 form and how do you fill it out? It's just going to be very generic types of content, right? Nothing creative. It's hard for the computer to understand subtleties and plays on words and nuance and double entendre. We're not quite there yet with AI. So it's entirely virgin. Oh, the places I could go with that, but no. The content database is not entirely virgin, not now, nor it will ever be. It's been around the block more, than a $2 hooker. So I would not call it virgin by any stretch of the imagination. So trifecta marketing, once again, expect result, one result, only one, not multiple results, just one. How this works. So you write a new general financial article, right? So you write something extremely generic. 3 tips for your taxes in 2022. It is published on the invited authors in the invited author section of annuity.com. The article is given top billing on the front page, yay, and the search engines will find the article, maybe not, okay? The same article is sent to the advisor's database on retirevillage, and then it's sent out by a miracle to all of your contacts, and they record the opens and clicks and blah, blah, blah. Now, that in itself, not a bad thing, right? But the problem is going to be list fatigue, because if you write, let's say you write 2 articles a month and then the regular drip goes out, these people are going to be getting like 10 emails a month from you. And they're going to get tired of hearing from you. I don't care if it's your mother or your great aunt or somebody that really likes you. They probably don't want to hear from you that often. List fatigue is an issue, and they're going to make sure that it becomes an issue for your list. That's for sure. So this data, you're going to look at the data, you're going to see, whoop-de-doo, Aunt Betty opened up my email. I think I should call her. And every person in the Retire Village database knows their advisor. Again, we say that's because it's your database, duh. We also automatically load all of your call-in leads generated by the radio show. Whoa, hold the front page. What radio show? So they're saying kind of in a back sort of way that you're only going to get new good leads if you have a radio show, and you're going to spend, as I said, probably $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a month to have a radio show that's boring and doesn't even work, in my opinion. This is my opinion. This is not necessarily the opinion of anyone else at Safe Money or at Safe Money Trends or anything like that. That's my opinion, based on having listened to about 1,000 of these shows over the years. We also automatically load all your call-in leads, blah, 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 blah. I don't think they've had a new script since 1972. It sounds like it. Annuity.com's proprietary social media marketing system whirls into action. It doesn't just start, it whirls. It whirls into action. It jumps off the page and runs over there, and you become a social media star. No. And I should show you what it looks like. Later on in this, I think I will. The advisor's articles are also reboosted. through our entire system. That means they send out an email to all the other advisors and say, hey, Joe Blow published an article on annuities, and everybody else goes, yeah, great. Yeah, okay, click. And so you may get a few clicks, but it's other advisors. They're not going to be your clients. We have an entire sales process that will guarantee. Okay. Now this one intrigues me because I don't know how they're going to do this on $99 a month, but we'll see. We have an entire sales process that will guarantee a conversation with the lead. And this doesn't make any sense. And by using our bridge, virtually guarantee a face-to-face meeting. There's no period on the end of that sentence. Okay, so I don't know what the bridge is. They don't tell you, do they? They don't give you much information here, but there's some sort of bridge. I think the bridge might be a person calling the lead to see if they're a real person or not. That might be your bridge. If so, you can do that yourself too. Nothing new under the sun here, people. This is what I want you to see. And it's not just me complaining because I'm mad because Anthony was rude to me, even though he was rude to me. And he was rude to a lot of you guys, as a matter of fact. That's not my purpose. My purpose is to give you some information so that before you lock yourself into this and then come complaining in 6 months, you will at least say, I knew what I was getting into. So Lyle Boss has 1,579 people in his retirevillage database. Lyle Boss has probably spent $1 million in marketing over the last 2 or 3 years. So he should have that many. As a matter of fact, he should have 5,000 by that. If I have 50,000 in my database, and I didn't spend nearly as much as he did. So last month, his database had 503 opens and 41 clicks. Yeah, so second day, he had 212 opens and 22 clicks. That's not very many clicks, really. Third day, he had 107 opens and only 12 clicks. Okay, by the third day, they were getting sick of getting his stuff, I can guarantee. And in 3 days, he generated 75 warm leads he could call, all from his own database, who already knows him. Could he not have done that on his own? Absolutely. So let's actually see this amazing social media marketing system in action here. Let me do this, okay? Let's click on it and go straight to the source. This is Lyle Boss's LinkedIn, okay? Okay, so there's Lyle Boss, and there's a little picture. Oh, we could do so much more with this LinkedIn, and that's something that I do for guys is upgrade their LinkedIn so it actually is useful. But all they did basically is put links to the articles. Okay, that's it. There's no commentary. There's no unique commentary from Lyle that says, hey, everybody, I just finished a radio show on XYZ. Here's why it's so amazing and you should listen to it. There's nothing like that. It's just the links. So here's another reason why it's not going to do him very much good, right? 32 connections. So he's not going to be, he doesn't have a network to ping this out to message people with, which is, to me, is the big value of LinkedIn, is creating a 5, 6, 7,000 member network that you can actually invite to things and ping things out to and get some feedback from, right? That's the real value of social media, in my opinion. So that's how the amazing social media works. It's basically just an automated way to get your posts from annuity.com and retirevillage up to your social media. And that can save you a lot of time. That's a good thing to have, but it doesn't necessarily equate to more business, which is really what you want, right? So anyway, that's that. Let's go back to this. And hashtags. Hashtags are like so 2015. You're saying the internet's going to find Lyle with Salt Lake, fly fishing, Utah. Maybe that works. Let's see if it works. Okay, let's see. Let's go out, because Lyle Boss is all over the place. So we'll show you some of his stuff. Okay, this is kind of, I hope this is interesting and not boring to you. I hope that you understand that, even as tongue-in-cheek as I'm being, that I'm really trying to give you some good information. But let's look at hashtag Salt Lake. Well, hashtag Salt Lake, I see hotels, restaurants, the Great Salt Lake, photos, Salt Lake City government, Salt Lake County. Nothing about Lyle boss yet. Blah, 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 blah. Well, maybe it's just that hashtag. So maybe I should go back and let's see what other hashtags they said were good for him. Okay, fly fishing. Let's just do fly fishing. That's a good one. So fly fishing. That's the hashtag, fly fishing. Wikipedia. That's going to come up. Sorry, even annuity.com can't beat Wikipedia. Fly fishing beginner's guide, fly fishing the Sierra, fly fishing Tahoe. What is fly fishing Patagonia? I haven't seen Lyle Boss yet. See, so the thing is, just putting a hashtag on something does absolutely nothing. Now, if you post regularly, all the time about fly fishing, every 2 days, you've got a hashtag fly fishing in Salt Lake, fly fishing on the river, whatever you've got. That might possibly get you some search results, but generally not. What if you do it in, let's be fair, let's go back to LinkedIn. And what if I do fly fishing inside of LinkedIn? So let's go back to Lyle's LinkedIn, or maybe I'll just go to my LinkedIn. Okay, I'll go to my LinkedIn. Okay, oh, nope, that's not what I need to do. I don't know why I keep. Okay. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that's my LinkedIn. Okay, so I go to my LinkedIn and then I put hashtag fly fishing. Let's see what I come up with. Chris Ross, Jason Hummel, Scott Blake, talk about fly fishing Gruber. So even within LinkedIn, I don't see anything about Lyle Boss on there. So I'm going to say that's a myth busted right there. Busted. Lyle is like others regarding social media marketing. He does not have enough followers, meaning he's not an influencer. Do you want him to be an influencer? No, probably not. But we are helping with that. Our system allows us to help him post on topics unrelated to the annuity business. This is something I have been preaching and they stole from me. You know, hey, copying is a sincere form of flattery. I've been saying this for years. They ignored me when I told them that advisors need to post on something other than annuities. They need to post real life things. One of the reasons Sean Sparkman, for example, gets such good high ratings is because he's a real person. He posts about his kids. He posts about martial arts. He talks to a lot of different people, right? And so now they finally got it. We have expanded his postings to include other topics such as fishing, hiking, and other interests. Big deal. Too late. I told you to do that years ago. So here he is standing there. Yeah, I got something new. Nope, don't. Okay. And I'm sorry if I sound a little sarcastic. It's just that I have seen all of this since 2007. Evolve and de-evolve and de-evolve again and devolve and devolve and devolve and devolve until, this is what we have. We post the article to our content-filled site with page 1 exposure. We directly market to a database that knows the advisor. We then post to the advisor's social media. Okay, so he's recapping it. By using the system, you will cut your lead cost by 90%. Yeah, because you're doing all the work yourself. And finally have leads that will talk to you and now have a way to turn the lowest quality referral into a warmer hot lead. So, and this is all the stuff they're supposed to be giving you. Basically, if you look through all of these bullet points, you'll see all of this stuff is already included in your RetireVillage. So if you're paying $99 for your RetireVillage, you should stick with that. You've already got this stuff. You got the resource library. I don't know what the honor badge marketing system is. Don't ask me. I have no clue. You get the Safe Money book, but do you get the leads from that? I've always wondered. Master Series marketing, don't know what that is. Fact Finder marketing system. Some of these things I think either don't exist, haven't been developed yet, or are never going to appear, Monthly original article for Trifecta marketing system. Okay, so they're doing kind of following me, and I provide an article a month for people that subscribe or that I invite. There's a big difference. I personally invite people on Safe Money Trends. So you can't just go and buy it. But if I did, everybody would get an original article, and so on and so forth. Now, the original article, I have a feeling is going to be generated by one of those AI programs or something similar to that, or maybe somebody in the Philippines that gets paid $3 an hour. But for $99, you just can't do all this stuff. So something's got to give, right? Something's got to give. You can't sell a full buffet for the price of one hot dog. So there you go. Celebrity package, be the most visible. I don't know what that means. It's a rehash of some other individual programs he's done over the years. So they're saying they're going to show you how they did it. They will not show you how they did it. They'll show you some things, but they're not going to give you the secret sauce. So anyway, that's my assessment of this plan. If you're already in it, hey, stay in it. Stay in it and tell me what your experiences are. Tell me if this is working, if they've really improved it, because I'll be the first to come back on and say, look, hey, I was wrong. They really got something cool here. But I got a feeling, number one, it's not going to just be $99 a month. Number two, it's not going to work the way they say it works. And when you call them on it, they're going to come up with an excuse or blame you. They're going to say, well, you didn't stick to the system. You didn't do this. You missed a step. So therefore, you have no right to complain. So I'm just giving you a heads up. I want to thank all of you. I want to tell you that if you do want to talk to me about being invited, again, I can't make any assurances because we are a small shop. We are not competing with annuity.com. We are not competing with Aegis. We are not an FMO, IMO skimming money off of people. We are just a little creative shop, right? Everything we do is customized. That's what I want to point out. Everything we do is customized to you and your unique focus. And we promote your books. If you have a book, we promote it. It doesn't cost you anything extra. But you need to go to the site and contact us and let me know you want, or you can even go to my Calendly if you want to write this down. Here's the Calendly. I always forget what it is. I had it up there. There it is. Okay, there it is right there. It's https, / calendly.com / Tammy DeLue. It's right up there on the screen. Just copy that down and you can go there and make set up a time to talk to me and make your case for why you think this would be a good fit. Because honestly, I am not interested in getting 500 advisors on here. I couldn't handle it even if I could do that. But I want to get the good people. I want to get the creme de la creme, so to speak. And I want people who are just as dedicated to their clients as I am to them. Because what I don't like about all of this garbage that's being pumped out by these companies like Aegis or Annuity Advisors Alliance or whatever they call themselves, Integrity, whatever. What I don't like is all these promises they just hook these guys on, and they hook them on bad leads and they get them reeled into the system. And then when they don't produce the way they think that they should, they abandon them. I've known people kicked off these sites because they didn't send enough business through. And this is what I'm afraid is going to happen if you upload your contacts. Let me talk about that really briefly. If you choose to do this, and I don't mean just with Retire Village, but with any of these marketers, if you choose to do this, please, please, please protect yourself, protect your database. I know an advisor who set up some seed emails. These were emails that were tied to accounts that he never used for anything else, right? These were virgin emails he put into his Retire Village system to make sure that nothing bad happened. And it wasn't very long before he was getting calls or contacts on those emails from advisors trying to sell him annuities. Now, you tell me what's wrong with that. Because if you haven't used that email for anything else, and all of a sudden you upload this to a database and you start getting a lot of, emails from advisors, then something has been compromised. That's all I'm saying. I'm not accusing anybody of doing anything, but it seems like a highly unlikely coincidence that just happened. So be sure you create a second Google account and put a fake name on it, put it in your database, and so that you'll be able to track. So if you start getting a bunch of marketing stuff and booklets and things on that email, you'll know that email has been compromised, right? It's an old technique that's been used for years to keep track of databases. So do that before you upload. Understand that you are uploading to people you don't even know. You don't know who has access to that. I'm going to guess a lot of people have access to that system, and you would not want them to have that access because those are your contacts you're putting in there, right? And if you leave or you get kicked off because all of a sudden they decide they need a production quota from you, if that happens and you lose access to that system or you forget to pay 1 month or whatever happens, what's going to happen to that database? Does it just go back to you automatically? They just shut it down? I'm thinking that it's going to get compromised somehow, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Okay, so just be careful because I mean, everybody takes advantage of that. I have done it before. To my shame, I've taken advantage of situations, and they're no different than us, than you and I. So please, please, please safeguard your client's data, your prospect data. It's what you've paid for. Safeguard your content. Make sure that you don't sign any contracts unless you thoroughly read them and you see, oh my gosh, I just gave up my rights to all of my content if I publish it on here. Do you want to do that? You might want to do that if it's the New York Times publishing your article. That would be worth it. But for them to ask you to give up your right to reuse your article on your own website, I think is unconscionable. Don't do it. Make sure you own what you paid for, that you can use it everywhere, that it is properly syndicated so you won't get duplicate content problems, so that you won't get accused of plagiarism by Google. You need to take your marketing into your own hands, just the way you tell your clients to take their finances into their own hands. It doesn't mean that you won't need help. It just means that you're going to be proactive and go, look, that doesn't seem right. I'm going to stop this. So I'm telling you this sincerely and honestly. I am not trying to get you to buy anything from me or do anything with me. That is not how I operate. But I will be honest and tell you this could be a bad thing for some of you. So if you have any questions, if you want to talk to me about other systems, if you want to talk to me about doing any of these one things by yourself, I will gladly show you how to do it. Just reach out to me and make an appointment. I'll talk to anybody about anything. Thank you so much for listening. I know it's been a long video, but I hope that you got something out of it, and I hope you got a few chuckles as well. Take care. This is Tammy out for the Rebel Agents Dispatch.